Ricky was reading the Batman and Ninja Turtles. We might touch on that a little bit, but he also saw the Joaquin Phoenix Joker movie recently, so we'll be touching on that. So Ricky, why don't we get right into that?
Okay.
When did you see it?
I saw it Thursday night.
And Joaquin, great actor. How did he do?
I'll tell you what, man. It was really good. He did his own take on the Joker. This one, I mean, we all know Joker's nuts, but this one really deep dive into mental health issues.
Yeah, realistic mental health issues.
Yeah, like scary real. Like
Ooh.
you might know somebody that acts like that in the grocery store at work or something. like I was relating to it very well because I don't know, we've all know somebody out there that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Not only do we know somebody, but walking the streets of New York City last night and today,
God.
I think we've seen a couple people.
Yeah.
Inspiring.
Love you, New York,
Jokers.
But you got some crazies.
Yeah, you got some wackos here.
Windy City, am I right?
So what?
At
And
least today it was.
guys, this is a spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the movie and you're going to, fast forward 5 minutes, and if we're still talking about it, go even further ahead then. So Ricky,
What if I don't want to get spoiled by the movie?
Well,
I'm just joking.
Good. Was there anything you were really surprised about?
I was surprised, and technically it's not Batman, but Bruce Wayne and the Waynes were in the movie, very heavily.
How old is
Wayne?
Bruce?
Bruce is 8 years old.
And how old's Joaquin? Not Joaquin, but how old's Joker in
I
this?
would say 30s or 40s.
Okay.
Late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
He portrays
What was his real name in the movie?
Arthur Fleck.
That's right,
However,
Arthur Fleck.
you find out in the movie that he's adopted, so you really don't know his last name, but his first name was Arthur. His mother's name was Fleck. She was a nut job.
Okay.
Who, in the middle of the movie, am I going to spoil this for you guys? Are you going to go see it?
I will see it.
Okay.
but
I'm
it's
not
okay.
going to see it.
Middle of the movie, his mother tells him that he is Thomas Wayne's son.
Ooh.
And I'm thinking, why are we going down this way? Like, Batman and Joker are going to be brothers? Like, this is stupid.
I'm walking out of the theater.
But then it just dives deep, and there's so many twists that, like, his mom was nuts, and he didn't, everyone told him that the mom was nuts, but he didn't believe it.
Yeah.
He's like, no, my mom's fine. But
Well,
no,
when you don't know
he
anything.
was nuts, and so was she.
And it's not even hereditary because it's not his real mom. Nature versus nurture, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nurture that
So
psychosis.
you find out that they're not brothers.
Yeah.
But for a moment there, you think they are, and so does he in the movie. He goes to the Wayne Manor, and is outside the gates, and him and Bruce have an interaction.
Oh.
Yeah.
They kiss?
But he puts his hands inside his mouth and puts the smile on.
He puts his hands inside 8-year-old Bruce Wayne's mouth.
Doing that to
I'm
himself,
telling you,
right?
dude, it was just, the movie was kind of disturbing, like almost like a horror movie, I guess, in a sense. But I feel like this shit could really happen. Like,
so I've only seen the trailers for this. DC's usually, I mean, compared to Marvel especially, is a darker brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Venom, although it wasn't made by Marvel, was also a bit darker. It was
darker than Venom.
It was darker than Venom.
Probably not
sure.
as much comic relief, not as much silly stuff.
Honestly,
Funny coming from a clown.
there was no comedy.
Yeah.
Like, little. Like, De Niro's character is like almost like Johnny Carson-esque.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he cracks some jokes and picks on the guy that plays the Joker a little bit. But other than that, it's everything I laughed at probably wasn't meant to be funny.
Well, that's how I've always taken the Joker. Like, he should be the only one laughing at his jokes.
He was literally laughing randomly throughout the movie.
Yeah, his humor is gallows dark.
Yeah.
At the expense of everybody else.
And he carried a laminated card with him that said, "Please excuse me, I have an uncontrollable laughter condition, this and that he would give to people."
Because he would get embarrassed a lot and just laugh at inappropriate times. Yeah, that's creepy.
But then he was like, somebody called him out on it, and he didn't answer if it was a condition or not.
Oh, so he's
funny thing about that, I mean, regarding the movie, I don't know if he actually had that or not, but I had read, and I think we talked about on one of our earlier podcasts, that Joaquin Phoenix, to get that laugh down, listened to tape and videos of people with a condition where they couldn't stop laughing. It was.
I believe it. He killed it, dude. Like.
Yeah.
The laugh was very good, like very on point.
And we were trying to save this conversation for this specific podcast, so we didn't get into it too much yesterday, but you and Billy had like a brief discussion on feeling bad for the Joker, and why don't you kind of reignite that?
I never liked the idea of feeling sympathy for the Joker. In the animated series, there were some times, Batman animated series, where, I mean, that was obviously a more toned down PG-13 version, where the Joker wasn't as bad as he seemed. Maybe he decided not to kill Robin when he could have, something like that. But I never wanted to feel empathy or feel bad for the Joker, and I was just worried that this origin story, him coming to prominence as like a serial mass murderer, you'd be like, oh, I get it though. He was picked on, like he was bullied.
Yeah, I mean, the beginning of the movie, you really they emphasize on it a lot. Like he's a fucking weirdo, right? Like socially awkward, gets beat up, for no good reason too. A couple of the times.
And this takes place in the 70s, early 80s.
I want to say 70s, maybe even earlier.
Yeah.
They really didn't give a timeline, which is weird.
That's good.
Yeah, they didn't throw like 1960 on the bottom left or something.
Yeah.
It was just they ran with it.
Well, remember the first Batman movie, the Tim Burton 1989 Batman movie?
Yeah.
We'd assume it takes place in 1989, but they had like old style cars, all the Gothic architecture, people wearing like big fur coats.
And granted,
there was color TVs, and it was.
This also isn't like, I mean, Marvel's timeline coincides with ours for the most part, other than like some technology, obviously. But in 2020 in Marvel, it's the same thing we have in 2020. But Gotham, that whole DC world hasn't always kind of been like that.
Yeah, Batman always, I mean, as a character, he has no superpowers. He's a detective, martial artist. Like, he always works better, in my opinion, in a toned down, less technical.
Elaborate.
Yeah, just in a. I always like Batman, like when they do an Elseworlds and it's like 1920.
I mean, the most tech Batman usually does is like hacking computers.
Nah, I mean, if you read Scott Snyder's and stuff, he's got like facial recognition software, like all these gadgets, which are very useful, kind of like the old Adam West Batman, where he can just pull anything out of his belt, like sharp repellent or something. But it just gets. But the best version is like he's stripped down, he loses his belt, like he loses the powers. There's no communication with whoever's in the Batcave, the Oracle or Alfred that's helping him, and he's just like fighting mobsters. In my opinion, like Joker's great. I mean, but Joker doesn't have superpowers. He's not flying around shooting fire. It's more of solving the mystery of what his plan is, so no one else dies.
So the last question I have for you, Stache Maestro, is to rate the movie 0 to 10. You can't use 7.
0 to 10, I can't use 7. I would say 8.5.
Okay. The whole point of not being
full, like it was good. Don't get me wrong, but like I don't know.
Does it seem like one of those movies where if you watch it again, you're gonna pick up on new things?
Yeah. If I see it again, that'd probably go to a 9.5.
There might even be some like hidden gem Easter eggs in the background that like connect.
Because they do go to Arkham Asylum.
Okay.
One scene, he gets his mom's records. Finds out that's where he finds out he's adopted.
Do they mention? Is there any employee mention? Like is what's his name? Jeremiah Arkham, is that his name? Is he working there?
No, that wasn't mentioned. I don't believe, but I mean,
there could have been like a name tag somewhere that was just very.
That's cool. To give credit where credit's due, Robert De Niro, Zazie Beetz, Francis Conroy, obviously Joaquin Phoenix star in the movie, Todd Phillips, Bradley Cooper, Emma Tillinger-Koskopf produced.
Yeah, how about that? Bradley Cooper produced it.
Right?
Pretty
and
cool.
Didn't Scorsese have something to do with it, or am I adding to that?
I can't confirm that.
Probably.
But did you see what Scorsese said about the
I did see that.
Marvel?
Which I thought that's why he was saying it.
I didn't want to change subjects, but
go for it.
He said that it's not cinema.
Oh yeah, I did.
But he also hasn't seen any movies. Like that'd be me like saying, oh, anime is not cinema.
Right.
I've never watched any anime.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean,
but James Gunn came out and said, like, you know, Scorsese was one of my favorite directors. I'm inspired by him, and this saddens me to have him say my work is not cinema.
Yeah. He's also like 85 years old. And,
Yeah.
You know, time,
Whatever.
Time destroys all good.
Everyone has their own opinion, right?
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
So you also mentioned, was it ZZ Beats?
Zazie Beats? She was
played
in Deadpool.
Domino, yeah.
Yeah.
She plays, so in the beginning of the movie, you see her, and they meet in the elevator, right? Then after that, you see her randomly at times, and you kind of get the vibe that they're like a thing, like together. But then, random scene, after he killed his mom, I think, or he killed somebody, he showed up in her living room, right? She just put the kid to bed. She comes out and she's shocked to see him. Like, what are you doing here? Like, wait, you were just with him, like, at his show. Like, you guys did laundry together or something. I think they went to the movies or something. And then it goes back to those scenes, and she was never there. He's just all on his head. Like, he opens the door, and he was, like, asking her on a date. And then at his show, at his stand-up, she was never there. Like, he was imagining it.
Yeah, that's a little crazy.
That's what I mean. It does a very good job at illustrating how nuts this guy was, and like, I don't know. I like that.
So
it's a different take, right?
When they finally ended the movie in full Joker garb, like his outfit painted up and everything, did you think it resembled the comics version?
Yeah, but they did have like the diamonds on the eyes.
Oh, okay.
Like his makeup was like a little distorted on the mouth, the red nose, tip of the nose. So I'm not used to seeing that much, I guess, going on.
So there's no mention of a vat of acid. There's no mention
of
Acme chemicals or
nope.
No
just
red,
straight up
any
crazy.
Red Hood mention? Red Hood
nope.
stuff? No.
He was a clown before that.
Right.
At his job, like kind of like a temp agency. Like he'd be doing like spinning signs for a company or going to children's hospital, stuff like that. But then he got fired because he brought a gun into the children's hospital.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
frowned upon.
It sounds like you liked it. 8.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good.
Why didn't he go to 9?
Because he hasn't seen it the second time.
I don't know. I'm like, part of me is like biased because the Heath Ledger Joker will always be embedded in my head. You know, like that's the bar.
Yeah.
Right?
You have to always have something to compare it to.
But I also want to appreciate other people's versions.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like. But it's just tough.
And I feel like so much of the Joker he's the antecedent of Batman to have like the mirror image back and forth.
Yeah.
But when Batman's no longer there and it's just this crazy guy being the Joker, maybe he needs like a counter, like a foil to really demonstrate. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. I'm just speaking for you.
Well then, one more thing before we move on. I mentioned earlier the Waynes are heavily in the movie, right? When he finds out that the mom was lying, like Thomas Wayne like pretty much told him the truth, like your mom's lying, like you're fucking nuts, get out of my face.
Was he that crass about it?
He pretty much. He punched him in the face. Yeah.
Thomas.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I thought because they showed the famous scene leaving the theaters, dark alley.
And you thought that Joaquin was gonna kill him?
Yeah, it wasn't.
Jack Napier style.
Yeah, no, it was just some random guy in a Joker mask came up. Yeah.
Oh, so you did see him die?
Yeah, you saw the parents die, and then Bruce was standing there. Yeah.
Was Arthur anywhere? Was he watching it?
No.
Was anywhere close?
So a riot was going on. Everyone wearing Joker masks, just like burning the city. And he was in a cop car because he just killed De Niro, the host on live TV.
Yeah.
And you just see headlights getting brighter, boom, smashing into the car. And then the guys that were driving there hop out wearing Joker masks, pull him out of the back, lay him on top of the cop car. And while all that's going on, you see the Waynes like leaving the theater, like trying to get the hell out of there. And they turn down the alley, and then you see some dude follow them. But it wasn't Joaquin, it was some random guy.
And then you just assume they die, or did
no,
you see them die?
He shot him, ripped the pearl necklace off, the
Yeah.
classic story, and then Bruce was standing there, but then Joaquin wakes up. He's still in the cop car, like on top of the hood.
Uh-huh.
And he gets up and starts dancing. He danced a lot in the movie.
You think
Like, he cut a rug, dude.
Was he on Molly? Do you think he was on
He
Molly?
might have been, yeah.
Did he
He
dance
might have
more than Tobey Maguire in Spider-Man 3?
Yes. Yes.
Good.
But this was more acceptable.
Good.
Not the...
Wasn't cool.
Sorry, we're on a podcast. I shouldn't be dancing.
Not the Cabbage Patch. All right.
Wait, one more.
So, yeah, well, I actually have one more question, then we'll really move on.
Okay.
So, everybody holds Heath Ledger as, like, the highest
Mm-hmm.
regards, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a tough question. I don't know if you'll be able to answer it.
Yes.
Let's say Heath Ledger's still alive. Who was better? Do you think Heath Ledger being not with us anymore gives you more of an emotional attachment to his version?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Because that coming out
Yeah.
after he passed away, really, they talked about how much he got into the part, and that kind of led to
No. Don't blame that shit. He's a professional actor. He's not like getting all depressed. Oh, I'm playing a character.
No, I guess I
I
still look at it.
pills.
I'd like to say I'd still look at it the same, right? I mean, not be biased towards someone's death, but under that same scope, do you think he won the award because he died?
Did he win best?
He won best
supporting
supporting,
actor?
I think, yeah.
It wasn't like a lifetime achievement thing.
No, it was like best supporting actor that year.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you. It was a great movie.
Phenomenal. Like,
Yeah.
he did great work.
I couldn't even tell you who the other people were going up against him for.
Oh, yeah, I have no idea.
I'm gonna tell you who won this year.
But if it was close at all, I think no matter what, he was going to get it.
Yeah.
You could have had another fantastic movie with a great supporting cast, great nominees. And although Heath may have won it if he was still alive, I don't think they were going to give it to anybody else, though.
That's true.
Because he passed. Which is fine.
And that wasn't a standalone movie. Like, you really didn't get too much into his origin.
Right.
He just, boom,
No, it's
pops
good.
on the screen. He did phenomenal.
Yeah.
But this one is more of...
This
you know,
wouldn't
just the Joker.
be
That's it.
supporting.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they
if
made
Joaquin
this
wins,
one rated
which he
R.
might.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sure. Why not? He's
All right.